Good morning. Do your clients care what kind of vehicle you drive? That's a conversation that we were having in one of the Facebook groups today. And he clearly says, my clients don't care what kind of vehicle I drive. In fact, he was buying used vehicles from U-Haul, then putting his name on the side of the truck. And I'm thinking, okay, don't we as business owners make hundreds of decisions every day? Do we examine what the consequences of those decisions are going to be, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, right? Do we look at that? I mean, let's look at the vehicle he was talking about. And he said, his clients don't care what kind of vehicle he drives. I don't think that's true, right? If if your clients are, people who want the cheapest price possible, then yeah, you're probably right. You should probably drive, a cheap pickup truck or I don't know, a cheap Kia or a Lada or whatever, the cheapest vehicle you could find. If you could arrive on a bicycle and have a trailer for your painting ladders or your roofing ladders, whatever it is you do, then that type of client will probably appreciate that because they want the cheapest price possible. They're not looking for quality. But what if you're after, the client who owns $1 million, 5 million, $20 million house? And every city around North America has those pockets, right? Here in Toronto, it's Rosedale, Forest Hill, Bridle Path. Those are all, 5 million to $50 million homes, right? Would those people hire you if you showed up on a bicycle with a trailer or a rusty pickup truck? Um, Probably not. Successful people want to do business with other successful people. They have no time to deal with, mistakes and getting their house screwed up and their flooring messed up, and they have no time for that. They would rather pay double or triple the price to make sure the job is done correctly. Why do you think that franchises can get away with double the price while One Day Roofing has a reputation of being expensive? Yet they're busy. They do $100 million. Certain Pro Painting, again, has the same reputation. They do $800 million, right? So why do we think our clients don't care what vehicles we drive? Because isn't the vehicle we drive or the way we dress a representation of who we are as a person and as a business, right? Our reviews is not a representation of who we are and who we're going to be and, the results of our decisions, right? So okay, so one scenario, you show up in a rusty pickup truck and you give a quote. On another scenario, you show up to the same $5 million house in, let's say, a Mercedes Sprinter van. We love the Mercedes Sprinter vans, even though they're rust buckets, and that's a different story. And you say, Fred, glad to meet you. I lived on the block. That's my house there on the corner. I'm glad we finally meet. Um, you know, Now you're having a conversation as equals. If you're driving a pickup truck and the client sees you as their servant, how is that going to affect the price? If the client sees you as their equal, or even a little bit higher because you're a business owner. He's an executive in Microsoft or something. He's always dreamed of becoming a business owner, but never pulled the trigger. Now he sees you as someone who is doing better than he is, and you actually live in a slightly better part of town, right? He lives in the 5 million, you live in the $7 million home. What's the reputation now? What's the negotiation strength? Are you negotiating from a position of strength or weakness, right? Because if he sees you, oh, you're really busy, you're really successful, I better not waste your time negotiating, right? You see how that sets a different standard, different negotiating strengths for your company? So Google statistics says that, most painting companies in North America take anywhere from 5 to 40 years to get to $800,000. That's the ceiling, $800,000. No, I'm not talking about profit. I'm talking about revenue. If you're lucky to make, 10%, that's $80,000. Most companies make 2 or 5%, right? So if you're doing some cash jobs, maybe you're making $100,000. But all that risk, all that work just to get $100,000, I mean, that's craziness. With proper branding differentiation, you should be able to get to 5 million, 20 million. Design a company that actually works for you. Design a company that can train and elevate your employees and give them advancement opportunities, fast track to management training programs, attract employees from different states, different provinces. Now you have a waiting list of people that want to come and work for you. So maybe we should have a better look at the decisions that we make every day and start asking what are the consequences? What are the advantages of this decision that I'm about to make, right? What's the result going to be a year or 5 years or 50 years down the road? Why don't we look at that? Why don't we surround ourselves with great advisors who have already done what we're trying to do? Who are you trying to emulate? Who are we trying to become? Who are the people we're trying to become? What are the businesses we're trying to create? Why don't we look a little further down the road instead of just buying a job? It's sad how many people on Facebook groups just buy a job. They just have a job. They go to work. They pick up a paintbrush or a ladder or a nailer or whatever it is. We just pick up a tool and that's our lives. We have one life to live, and that's the life we chose. To me, that's really sad. We're all in the construction industry. Some of us do better than others, but why don't we look at and ask questions? Well, what did you do to get to where you are? How do you live in the $5 million house, right? Or why is it you only work 20 hours a week or 2 hours a day? And how is it you can run your business from your cottage or your sailboat? How is it you can do that? You'd be surprised how many questions you can ask and people will help, right? Just ask a question, ask for help. Would love to hear your questions, comments below. Let's talk again soon. Take care.